So I have this finished interior and I have a lot of guidelines that I don't really need. So first I'm going to focus on the right side of my drawing, on this side, and I'll finish this one later. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide which guidelines I don't really need anymore. I found these guidelines in the center of the window. Well, it's glass, so I don't really need those anymore. I do need those lines, of course. So I'll erase the guidelines I don't really need. There's a bit sticking out here. This bit doesn't really make any sense. Don't know why I put those in, but I don't really need those anymore. My video is lagging. Okay, that's fine. Again, it doesn't really have to be perfect, but we got the idea. So, when I'm adding in value, I'm looking at I already started by the way, I'm looking where the light hits and where the light doesn't really hit. It all depends where I feel my light should be coming from. My light isn't restrained to the vanishing points. It has a vanishing point of its own, and that might be behind the door, like the sun shining and the light is coming through the window, or it could be a very bright lamp shining in the back and shining its light on the object in the room. I'll decide, but whatever I decide, I need to commit to that. Yeah, the light can't all of a sudden change because I'm thinking, no, I want the light to be coming from another place. So for this interior, I'll decide that, you know what, my light is coming from the back right. That means that let's focus on this table, that it will hit the top the hardest. This side over here also quite hard, and here the light it hardly touches the object at all. And the thing in the back, which I can't really see, it doesn't touch at all. Again, I'll erase the lines that I don't really need. The lightest bits, the top of the table, I'll leave those for last. The darkest areas, that'll be the inside of the leg, which is covered with a shadow coming from the top of the table. That'll be a little bit darker. Now I'll give the side of the table a shade of gray, but I'll make sure that all sides have a different value. So over here I can see a difference in between this shade of gray and the gray that is the shadow of the bottom of the table. So I need to compare a lot. So here it's okay, I can still see it, but here going down, this needs to be a little bit darker. There we go. Now this should go for this as well. I'm going over the lines in this case, and I'll work in layers, meaning if I add more gray in a second layer, I can make it a little bit darker, step by step. Yeah. So right now I can't really see the difference in between this side of the leg and that side of the leg, meaning this has to be a little bit darker because I do need to see the difference. Sure, no problem. I can still see a little bit of difference. It may be a bit tricky to see it on the screen, but you can see it. Massimo, already forgot. Alessandro. So I compare my values to each other. This needs to be even darker. And if you so wish, you can add texture as well. I mean, this texture can be like this plasticky texture, you know, very shiny and matte, but it can also be a little bit more woody, you know, like it's made out of wood. So we'll include some lines perhaps to show that it's made out of wood. You can even see it a bit better at the side perhaps. And then the top of the table, that's going to be the lightest, of course. So hopefully I'll probably need just one layer. So try to compare the sides next to each other. So the light, I'll show it with a big arrow. A big three-dimensional arrow, mind you, because we are working in 3 dimensions. Like so. That's my light. That is a completely different vanishing point. Well, that changes during the day if it's the sun, of course. Yeah, so a scene in the sunset will look a bit different than the scene in the dawn. All right. Do we have any questions so far? Yes, Lindsay.
What is that thing that you do on the window?
This thing? This is an arrow, exactly, and this is a light bulb. You know, it's not very clear, but
What's the arrow for?
the arrow is to indicate where the light is coming from, because light is all around us, but you can't really catch it. I mean, you can't really.
Do that with the no, he's just doing an example.
No, Paul, that's the example that I'm giving you. The light is coming from the back right. And so it touches the top of the table first, that's going to be the lightest. Then the side of the table, that's going to catch a lot of light. But here the side of the table, the light, it will catch it, but the light will be a little bit dimmer. Yeah. So those are going to be the midtones, and these are going to be my deep shadows. All right. I will turn this video off. I will put it on YouTube again, and I'll link it in the Schoology folder.